Now he's on the front headlock. He's getting a big single of his own, and
Oh.
it is fireworks right away, guys. And you can see Knut already.
Bro, that is a problem. Alright, what's up? Slenderman's back. Took a little hiatus, and we're back to making some videos. We're going to do a Mindspark, but it's going to be kind of the first kind of live Mindspark I've done. All the ones thus far, I've gone back to, you know, ideas I've had that were Mindsparks that I've kind of already hashed through in my head. This one, we're just going from the moment of like me seeing it, and then through my whole thought process, my whole research process, and how I originally just get that idea to hone in and then take over to the mats, right? And like try out. So I'm kind of, the process here is like searching for its viability, right? Of that idea. And then once I'm pretty solid, or I'm pretty, have a good vibe that it's viable, then you take it to the mats and you test it, right? So we're going to look at this here. This is a freaking sick match if you haven't watched it yet. Andrew Tackett versus Renato Canuto. I won't spoil it for you, but it starts off really crazy. Canuto takes a really quick shot, double leg, takes him down. There's a scramble into a headlock, and we kind of go from there, and Mr. Tackett ends up getting his face buried into the mat. So we're going to go through it real quick. We'll do it once, just look at the sequence in itself, isolated and normal speed. And then we're going to kind of go through it at slow speed to figure out exactly what it is that happened. And then I want to talk about kind of what I saw the moment I saw this. So we got him in the front headlock, switch to a single leg, and he gets dumped. Hard dump. When I see something like that, a lot of people see it and be like, oh man, he got caught. You know, he got caught out of position, he got caught. When you get put in that catastrophic a circumstance, when you're looking at something through like a combative lens, that's really bad for it to have that catastrophic of an outcome for you. When you think about a person's head hitting anything other than mats that hard, that's like over. That fight's done, right? This fight really, in a combative sense, was done right there. That was the end. When I see it, one of the first things like I ask myself is, what position did he put himself in? What grip did he take? What structure did he make that gave him that vulnerability? And if we can isolate that, how do we like make sure we're not building that into our training, and in fact trying to drill it out of our training, right? So that we don't put in our, you really want to in combatives, you really want to evaluate failures and like try to make sure that nothing fails catastrophically. So your techniques, the positions you use, the grips you use, you want to use the ones that are effective, of course, but also that don't fail catastrophically, because there's stuff that is really, really high percentage and effective, but when it does fail, it fails catastrophically, and you can't do that when it comes to combatives. So I don't actually know exactly what happened, exactly what grips and structure he took, because it happened so quickly, but I see the outcome and I see the results, and I immediately think to myself, okay, how do we avoid that? What actually went on there that caused that, and how do we avoid it? So that's kind of the process we're going to go through, and that's really what a Mindspark is. They end up in a front headlock position. He fights the hands, fights out of it, and Tackett uses that upward momentum to throw him up to grab a single leg. And how does he reach? Okay, so he reaches with two hands for the body lock. His one hand is still on the inside, on the leg, right? And we've got a forward pressure structure. The guy's got base now. The grip I have on his leg isn't doing much. It isn't causing a lot of breaking of his structure or off balancing him much. And he just flat out suicide drops into that grip so that his shoulder comes through and he gets a good purchase on the arm, and he's right under our base now. He's going to carry it through. Bam! That head's going to smash the mat. When we're on a single leg, if we are leaned forward, our grips and our connection are out past our hips, right? And they can get under our arm in this, really it's really a Seoi Nage type hook, right? I mean, it's an entire judo throw is built off this grip and off of this structure, right? So we know it's a vulnerability, and we got to make sure we don't build this in. So when it comes to singles, this kind of aligns with a concept I have about single legs, where you're either driving in with your inside shoulder, regardless of the grip you have on the leg, you're either driving in with your inside shoulder, or you're rotated through and you're fully driving in with your outside shoulder. It's one or the other. When you're in this middle ground, where like you're just kind of straight driving into them and there's no turning and rotating in of our mass. Also, that shoulder side that you're bringing in those hips with it, right? So that would save us here. That concept in and of itself would save us here. We don't want to be in this middle zone where we're squared up shoulders with them, because that's like the perfect setup for the Seoi Nage and the drop. And it doesn't matter how they effectively do it, whether they switch their hips in or just like suicide drop like he does here. That position here, it doesn't do us any good. We're not affecting anything there's no weight on this guy's grip, right? And because we know of the vulnerability of that grip as far as the Seoi Nage throw, we need to be putting weight on it or bailing out from it, right? So the solution here is either to take the grip, like we're going two-leg grip on the legs, two-hand grip on the legs. We either want to just commit one and then come to the drive our inside shoulder in and pull that arm out in a way to turn the leg out and start to take a back angle on them, or the opposite. We bring our inside shoulder in and our inside hip in, and that brings the weight down now on that grip and nullifies his ability to, because if the weight's on it, you'll beat them to base. They won't get under your base. So that's the difference here. That's kind of what I'm doing. So my thought process is, well, where do we make this mistake? And it's anytime we're reaching, like we're head inside and we're reaching towards the leg and they have an inside arm. Like anytime that's happening, we should be doing, like I said, we should be rotating hard in and dropping hard on that hook, or rotating out and then using that leverage of that hook to push them out, or even getting behind that elbow and pushing the elbow away. The point, obviously, is he's trying to stay connected to the leg, but staying connected to the leg in this perpendicular kind of squared stance is asking for it. You don't want to stay connected to the leg when you're in that squared off stance. You want to have that one side coming in or the other. All right. So what does this all mean? Like, why are we talking about this? Like, how do we make this? How do we get better at grappling by having these kind of ideas and seeing these things, seeing bad outcomes and finding out what caused them? Well, right now we know, like, especially on a single, when we're reaching for that leg, we need to get turned in one hip as soon as possible. So that's kind of how you would do this, is like drill single legs, and the guy's already going to know the single leg is coming because you're drilling it. So you're going to frequently get like framed out from that, where you're reaching and your grip on that leg is far. And like the moment you have that, you need to feel that inside shoulder and hip rotation or that outside shoulder and hip rotation, and how it gets you into a better position. You drill that. We're going to work on that and see the outcomes it provides. And then also just on the other side of it, feel out the opposite. Let them stay perpendicular. Let your man stay perpendicular. And you work that Ippon Seoi Nage grip and find that Ippon Seoi Nage from the different off balances you can. Right? So you do both. You do both angles so that you understand them deeply. and you get better, and you avoid doing this and getting your face smashed into the concrete. All right.